Hey guys, tonight we're diving into how star-drunk sailors turned napping into high art, pillows optional, survival skills mandatory. Picture this: you're barefoot on black sand, still warm from vanished sunlight, waves clawing at your ankles, while the Milky Way vomits starlight overhead. Your influencer-sponsored meditation app would have noped out hours ago. But these old-school wayfarers, they built empires between yawns. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your nearest continent and current time below. I'll bet 7 coconuts someone's watching upside down from New Zealand right now. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You paddle an outrigger canoe with blistered hands, salt crusting your eyelids shut. No compasses here, just the pulsing throat song of an elder counting waves between naps. Every third crest rocks the hull like a mother's hip, lulling warriors into sleep so deep. Their dreams dripped star coordinates. Modern sleep hackers drool over polyphasic schedules. These navigators napped in 90 heartbeat slices, timed to coral reefs breathing. The real kicker: they didn't fight exhaustion, they weaponized it, while daytime minds fixated on storm clouds. Half-asleep sailors felt tidal shifts in their molars. Imagine decoding ocean currents through cheekbone vibrations, ancestors whispering latitudes into your ear as you drool on a palm fiber pillow. Mainstream textbooks mention Polynesians colonizing islands across 2,000 miles, but never explain how they snoozed through 70% of the trip. Here's a nugget your history teacher buried. Navigators chewed sleep-inducing kava root, then spat the pulp into tide pools to share rest with the ocean itself. Bonkers. Sure, effective. Well, you're hearing this over 1,000 years later. They'd curl fetally in hull compartments, left ear pressed to seawater, right ear tuned to wind's pitch, until both synced with their pulse. Ever tried sleeping through a hurricane? These legends napped inside cyclones, using the eye's calm to reset their internal star clocks. Historians still argue whether they enhanced navigation skills through dreams, or simply hallucinated from sleep deprivation. Either way, they reached shores no one else dared chart, all while perfecting the art of the mid-storm siesta. Your eyelids flutter, mimicking the ancient practice of dream mapping. Each blink etches star patterns onto your cornea, half-remembered constellations, guiding you toward naps deeper than the Mariana Trench. The canoe becomes a cradle, the ocean a wet nurse, humming lullabies in minor key. You don't sleep so much as dissolve salt and starlight leaching into your marrow. A frigate bird screeches your alarm clock in this moonless night. You surface from sleep, clutching new instincts, like how currents braid beneath undiscovered islands. The horizon yawns wider now, each wave a stepping stone to rest-enriched discovery. Stars dip low, kissing the sea goodnight, as your borrowed canoe drifts toward dawn's copper-edged yawn. You're curled in a hollowed-out breadfruit log, the original memory foam canoe cradle. Waves slap the hull like a drowsy heartbeat, each rocking motion tuned to Rigel's rise in the southern sky. Half asleep navigators once charted courses by how many snores fit between star transitions. Forget counting sheep. These wayfarers counted pulsars before pulsars had names. Your neck cramps thinking about their shark-tooth stuffed pillows, because nothing says sweet dreams like imminent facial perforation. Here's the kicker. They napped while navigating. Not during calm stretches, during squalls. You try dozing as 40-foot swells buck your bed like an angry seagull. Yet, old star readers swore crashing waves formed lullabies if you knew how to listen. Tension bleeds from your shoulders as you mimic their triple tap trick. Knuckle rub behind the ear, palm press to the navel, pinky flick saltwater at the stars. Suddenly, the ocean's roar unravels into a bass line. Storm winds hum through canoe gaps, whistling the same pitch as your childhood lullaby. Coincidence? Your eyelids say no. Legends claim master navigators dreamt tides 12 hours before riding them. Imagine bedhead as a superpower, pillow creases, mapping tomorrow's currents. Modern experiments proved this wasn't pure myth. Sleep-deprived sailors in replica canoes drifted 37% farther off course, while well-rested crews see ORRECT, ED, Chinese letter, using lunar REM cycles. Your belly clenches as you grasp the implication. Ancestor-approved naps were math. You drift into a half-awake joke. If sleeping beauties had Polynesian lineage, their curses would involve overproductive rest. Too real. The canoe's rhythm syncs with your breath, now 267 inhales per swell cycle. Someone's thigh bone flute croons from the underworld. Historians still argue whether they truly heard ancestors singing or just hallucinated from 7-day sleep deficits. Either way, you're shivering, not from cold, from recognizing the melody. It's the same tune your grandmother hummed while braiding your hair. Stars smear into watercolor streaks above. Southern Cross, more like southern snooze. The constellation literally winks at you through a cloud slit. You mouth the old joke, hard to steer when your compass is pillow talking. Salt crusts your lashes shut. Nightmares should involve shipwrecks, not realizing you've drooled on sacred navigation charts. Too late. Dawn licks the horizon as you jolt awake, still floating, no land in sight, but the current's tug feels familiar. Like the dream where you rode a sea turtle through a PERL Chinese letter. Your fingers trace phantom constellations on the damp wood, the same ones tattooed on 18th century navigators' thighs. Archaeologists found those mummies still clutching palm frond dream journals. Last entry. Rough seas ahead, but the nap was worth it. The damp wood under your palms still hums with last night's star chatter. Those 28 constellations aren't just above you. They're seared into your eyelids, each blink etching Pleiades and Madhuraki across your vision. You attempt the eyelid flutter, Half shut, gaze tracking celestial patterns between heartbeats. Olden navigators called it dream dancing pupils, living star charts beneath thin skin. Modern sleep scientists would have choked on their graph paper. Here's the trick. Every yawn redraws the sky. Left swirls map Orion's belt, downward flicks chart the shark-toothed Maniakalani. Historians still argue whether these eyelid dances matched moon cycles or REM bursts. Your stinging corneas scream both. Blink too fast, you'll splice Corvus with Scorpio. Celestial crime punishment. Instant drowsiness, that pressure behind your eyes. It's Hydra's tail coiling through your optic nerve, greetings from 300 BCE. These aren't passive maps, they're live wires. Each pulsar sends ticker tape Morse code through tear ducts. Now you get why captains chewed kava root until their eyeballs buzzed, liquid starlight straight to the brainstem. Don't laugh. Archaeologists found 19th century coconut oil flasks in Fiji etched with constellation riddles. One reads, blink twice for sweet dreams, thrice to dodge storm gods. Sleep hack or survival guide. Ancient multitasking. Your left lid spasms, probably translating an Aries joke lost to time. The real kicker. Navigator trainees napped under starwheel huts, faces slathered with glowing squid ink to download the sky. Wake up looking like a radioactive raccoon. But hey, you'll recite the Milky Way's inventory. Modern voyages, like the 1976 Hokula canoe journey, proved these methods could cross oceans. No sextants required. You're battling double vision when the ultimate cheat code hits. Tongue pressed to palate. Suddenly, Antares aligns with your molars. The Milky Way cascades down your throat, tastes like charred caramel. Same flavor detected in 800-year-old Tahitian sleeping mats, fermented starfruit, and meteor dust. Academics called it ritual nonsense. Your sugar rush tongue begs to differ. A rogue wave slaps the hull, saltwater fries your star circuitry. Now you're just a bleary-eyed fool drooling seawater. Classic. Yet through stinging vision, the Big Dipper's afterimage glows on your retina. Those riddles were neural embroidery hoops. Your ancestors hacked REM states before the word psychology existed. One last eyelid shimmy before dawn, you catch Matariki's 7 sisters doing synchronized winks. Or was that dust? Doesn't matter. The true star map lives in the friends you dreamt up mid-blur. Terrible puns, a navigator's birthright. Sunrise stains the horizon as you chuckle, your cheek still branded with a lopsided Southern Cross. Authenticity beats precision every time. Your eyelids slam shut, yet the ocean tilts sharper behind them. Salt-crusted lashes become sextants, measuring wave crests through phantom pressure. A 1980s study proved Polynesian navigators could detect swells through thigh skin alone. You're testing the theory, bare legs pressed to damp wood, reading tides through goosebumps. That creaking isn't just the hull, it's your joints syncing with current rhythms. Muscle memory from ancestors who napped mid-voyage, their bodies memorizing wave patterns like song lyrics. Historians still argue whether they dreamt in tidal charts or whale songs. Your answer: a yawn that bends spacetime. Hot tip: shift your pelvis left during micronaps. The 12th century wayfinding codex called it surfing the dream trough. Lean too far, you'll wake with a hip bruise shaped like the Magellanic Clouds. Ask the British Museum's 1904 expedition crew. Their reports mention navigators, mysterious blue markings. Experts think it was ritual body art. You know better. Your skull thumps against the gunwale perfect, ancient pupils trained by sleeping on hollow-log drums, hearing storms days away through bone conduction. That headache: a low-pressure system brewing southeast. Check the horizon tomorrow, you'll see. Now the fun part: tongue curled to count phantom waves. Each undulation leaves mineral traces under your molars. Salty tang means following swells. Bitter aftertaste warns of reefs. Lost the trick: 18th century navigators swallowed dream sand as mnemonics. Archaeologists found these silica journals in Marques's burial sites, still gritty between thigh bones. A rogue sneeze scrambles your inner gyroscope. Blame the Cherokee starfeather compass myth, or that suspicious pollen blowing from Kaho'olawe. Your snotty reset actually helps. Nasal mucus conducts lunar conductivity 17% better when sleep deprived. Half-dreamt drums pulse from the mast. Or is that your carotid artery? Doesn't matter. Both map the Hercules 1976 path through closed eyelids. Your pinky toe tingles cue to adjust course 3 degrees south. Don't ask why toes. Even dead navigators keep trade secrets. That warm spot under your scapula. Ancestors' elbow jabbing through centuries. Their snores vibrate your vertebrae, Morse code for stop oversteering. Modern sailors use GPS pings. You've got great-grandma's sleep apnea guiding you. Warning: never nap during a westerly solstice squall. The 1627 Kamihui scrolls detail navigators swallowed by dream rips. Their canoes found drifting with crews stuck in REM loops. Spot a waterspout. Hum the Oli Mahana chant backwards. Melts twisters into mist or gives you killer karaoke cred. Your big toe sketches figure eights in air, autocorrecting against rogue currents. Schwadert's 2003 thesis argued Polynesian star paths align with dendritic limb nerve patterns. He got laughed out of Oxford, then surfed Tuamatu Atoll using nothing but knee reflexes. Dawn threatens, but you're riding the Hinaheloa Dream Highway, and mythic current navigators accessed through strategic snoring. Faster than caffeine, riskier than Red Bull. Miss your exit, you'll time travel to Kamehameha's breakfast table. Awkward, but great for scoring vintage sweet potatoes. Body slamming a wave jars your teeth, the perfect alarm clock. Your molars have plotted 15 nautical miles via enamel friction. Sweet free odometer. 10 more winks could have reached Hawaii, but who's counting? Certainly not your eyelids, already drafting apology letters to your corneas. Sand grinds between your toes as you collapse under swaying palms, each frond hissing ancestral gossip. Thatch overhead mimics star patterns observed by the 1778 HMS Resolution crew, their journals baffled by natives napping through tidal calculations. You get it now. Palm shade is just nature's eyelid. Breath sinks with coconut husks rattling in wind, a millennia-old metronome for napping cadets. 14 generations of snorers resonate through your sternum, their cumulative sleep debt powering your focus. Historians still argue whether training involved literal dream sharing or just really persuasive coconut oil massages. Your sunburned shoulders vote for option 3, spiritual chloroform. A gecko scampers across your shin, living alarm clock from the olden days. Its sticky toes tap dance navigation mnemonics against your sweat. Miss the rhythm. Your left calf cramps in ancient Morse code. Full surrender comes easier. Let 7 great uncles steer your cerebellum through power naps. Palm fiber matting prickles your back. Authentic 15th century memory foam technology. Each poke corresponds to star positions in the Pipio constellation. Lean right to avoid Sirius's glare, left to dodge Venusian vertigo. Modern sleep scientists would weep at the ergonomics. Your lumbar spine high-fives tradition instead. Something buzzes near your ear, not a mosquito, but a hover snooze of ancestral breath. 11 distinct snore tones harmonize into a navigational chant. The 1923 Tully expedition dismissed these as wind hallucinations. Too bad they napped inland. Fools missed the full surround sound experience. Your elbow nudges a petroglyph-worn rock, instant dream enhancer. Cool basalt seeps into your skull like 72 generations worth of blackout curtains. Palm shadows ripple across your eyelids, updating celestial charts in real time. Who needs GPS when tree ghosts keep redrawing your mental maps? Twilight filters through fronds as ultraviolet lullabies, your ancestors' version of blue light blockers. Pupils dilate to catch star coordinates, beaming through green canopy gaps. 19th century missionaries banned these pagan nap pods. Joke on them. Their churches make excellent hammock anchors during hurricanes. A sudden snort escapes your nose, not you, but great auntie Lua mimicking cyclone patterns. Her posthumous sleep apnea just corrected your course by 2 knots. Chroniclers called this possession. You call it free sailing lessons with complimentary sinus irrigation. Raindrops patter the fronds above 16th century white noise machines. Each plunk encodes decade-old storm data into your tympanic membranes. 5 drips equal trade winds, 12 signal typhoon evasion maneuvers. Modern meteorology wishes it tasted this minty fresh. Your pinky twitches, ancestors debating shortcuts through the dream reefs. They've bet 8 woven baskets on your success. No pressure, just centuries of fragile egos riding on your REM cycles. Blink twice fast if you need a dream substitution, third cousin Mako owes you from that shark incident. Crushed tea leaves stain your palms green. Emergency. Reset button for corrupted sleep files. Their chlorophyll jolt clears parental disappointment from your navigation memes. The 1706 breadfruit wars started over similar leaf tea overdoses. You stick to sipping shadows instead. A fallen blossom crowns your forehead, discreet antenna for harvesting ancestor rants. Their complaints about modern steering techniques vibrate your frontal lobe. Yes, yes, you'll stop hugging the eastern swells so much. Now hush, you're trying to micronap through this unsolicited mentorship. Fire ants march across your ankle, unkind reminder to rotate sleeping positions. Each bite corresponds to a disciplinary legend about overachieving star pupils. Your resulting hop scream successfully scares off a circling booby. Ancestral pest control at its finest. Dawn's first rays expose palm trunk etchings, doodle-filled notebooks from puberty-stricken novice navigators. Among the stick figure ships, a surprisingly accurate diagram of Jupiter's moons. Galileo, who, the real cosmic tea, got spilled under these fronds centuries earlier. Your yawn accidentally replicates the sacred Lehulima chant. Palm fronds applaud, razzing you with pollen showers. 30 generations worth of good effort, kid dust motes. Swallow the praise, literally. It's how they transfer Orion's belt shortcuts through your duodenum. Moonlight now, silver ripples across your closed eyelids. Each photon's angle decodes into resting heartbeats between long-ago voyages. Your diaphragm adopts the tidal sway of grandmothers you'll never meet, but still judge your life choices. Their verdict: more naps, fewer existential crises. Message received. Moonlight drips through palm shadows like congealed starsap, staining your hands silver as you peel back old fronds. The forbidden bundle winks up, moon-washed tarot corms glowing like misplaced galaxies. 17th century canoe logs mention emergency rations of night-bathed tubers, though they omit how each bite steals 40 minutes of future sleep. Your tongue tingles with rebellion as teeth breach waxy flesh, an earthy sweetness spreading like low-tide regret. 6 chews in ancestral gag reflexes kickstart your uvula. Turns out, moonbeam dusted means literal grit from lunar. Eclipse ash pits your molars, crunching through centuries of ceremonial soot. That's the problem with forbidden snacks. They're 90% poetic license and 10% geological heartburn. Your esophagus becomes a battleground for digestion versus dignity. Swallow choices from 1432 no longer seem so wise. A hiccup escapes, sounding suspiciously like gray tuncle tupas, disapproving snort. His pet tern drops fish guts on your head moments later. Avian karma for ignoring protocols. 6 generations worth of acid reflux burns through your sternum. Note to self: ancient appetite suppressants double as esophageal sandblasters. Palm fronds rustle, and I told you so chorus overhead. Meteorologists confirmed in 1987 that the 9-day Taro rebellion worsened monsoon patterns. Storm gods dislike midnight munchers. Your intestines gurgle in agreement, playing a wet percussive cover of Should, listened to the elders. Each cramp unlocks muscle memory of hungry navigators gnawing canoe hulls. You briefly sympathize with their splintered resolve. Moonlight shifts, revealing petroglyphs of pot-bellied gods clutching their stomachs. Turns out Cain's celestial bellyache isn't mythology. It's a cautionary glyph about portion control. 4 more nibbles, and you'll be the cautionary glyph, eternally carved as that idiot who ate the moon barf. Stars blur overhead, hallucinations, or ancestral side-eye. The 1923 Auckland Museum classified this lunatic nibble fever as mass hysteria. Your left pupil now sees double canoes. Your right spots a spectral elder rolling his eyes. At least the company's consistent, disappointed ghosts make enthusiastic, if judgmental, travel buddies. You fumble for crushed ginger root, emergency anti-nausea protocol from the 1800s trading routes. Chewing feels like swallowing lightning bugs trapped in sawdust. But your gallbladder stops, attempting interpretive dance. Moonbeams sizzle where sweat meets taro, residue forearms briefly glowing like bioluminescent squid bait. Historians still argue if the recipe's glowing phase was intentional or just really old yams. 3 frond shadows merge into Great Auntie Lanny's trademark glare. She disowned cousins for less. Her ghostly finger jabs toward the ocean, where phosphorescent waves spell, "Stop eating that." In passing plankton, you consider obedience, until a rogue hiccup ink splashes the message into top EATING hat. Dawn's first streaks expose the truth. Stolen wakefulness frays your vision into prismatic nonsense. Navigators need sharp eyes, not this kaleidoscope clumsiness. That's why elders banned midnight munchies. Sure, crewmen stayed awake longer, but started steering toward imaginary islands concocted by glucose crashes. Your heartbeat stutters into stale joke rhythm, syncopated thuds, mocking the taro tax you've levied on sanity. Experts think the 1708 disappearance of the twin-hulled Waipu was a navigational error from snack-induced myopia. Your corneas now agree. Horizons ripple like poorly set gelatin. A gecko licks taro, dust from your earlobe, its forked tongue flickering codes, older than Pentecostal fire. 5 licks mean repent. 11 signal bra you're beyond help. You lose count after 37 either way. The message ain't flattering. Fronds dip low, dumping dewy apology onto your parched tongue. Water sluices down the taro treason, still coating your molars. Turns out coconut rain beats, antacid tonics. Any dawn, your epiglottis forgives you incrementally. Sunlight now sharpening realities, edges back into navigable angles. Those emergency rations weren't for staying awake. They were desperation mouthfuls for cruise days from landfall. True genius lies in sleeping first, dreaming faster routes, instead of guzzling gritty shortcuts. Your eyelids sag finally as proper sleep muscles pass the tarot's cheap tricks. Ancestral snorers harmonize into a welcome back chorus. Palm shadows drape across your face, free blackout curtains embroidered with "we warned you" patterns. Last thought before surrender. A 1996 sleep study proved navigational accuracy drops 19% after all-nighters. Should have paid attention during that lecture, or maybe just trusted elders who'd already failed this exact dumb experiment. Dreams arrive like overdue apologies, whispering real star paths between tarot-themed nightmares. Funny how proper rest outpaces stolen wakefulness every time, even if the moon's snacks taste like celestial deceit. Lesson absorbed, though your large intestine may never forgive you. Thunder growls through your half-sleep, a storm god clearing its throat. Eyelids fly open to bruised skies, whipping coconut shrapnel. Here's the navigator's dilemma: doze through danger or stay awake, steering blind. Your answer's already snoozing in your slack jaw. You're stealing rest, not the gentle borrowing chiefs permitted. This is grand larceny naps, smuggled from typhoon breath. 19th century logs document crews snatching winks from Tangaroa's clenched fists. Poetic code for napping mid-squall. Your hammock sways like a thief's getaway canoe, each roll timed to the storm's distracted rumbles. 3 breaths in, you perfect the art of vertical sleeping. Knees lock against gunnels as hips sway counter to waves. It's the seafaring version of those airport naps during layovers. Maximum rejuvenation, minimum dignity. Lightning flash reveals 3 crewmates mirroring your stance, human metronomes resisting gravity's tantrum. The trick: sync snores to thunderclaps. Your first attempt sounds like a walrus choking on seaweed. The second syncs perfectly to a sky-splitting boom. Storm gods hate good rhythm. They can't resist joining the beat. Hailstones shift from scalpels to tambourine shakes mid-fall. One crewman starts humming through his sinuses, turning gale force winds into a drowsy hum. Historians still argue whether legendary navigator Tupia used didgeridoo-inspired nose songs or just bad allergies. Either way, the squall's fury unravels into a bass line for your collective snuffles. Your eyelids droop dangerous when lightning maps the inside of your skull. But Starpath logic whispers through sleep paralysis, closed eyes sensing swells through buttocks vibration. 18th century British sailors mocked this as butt steering, until they capsized trying to replicate it sober. Dreams arrive as navigational methadone, compressed star maps injected directly into your medulla oblongata. You're not sleeping, you're bootlegging REM cycles through the tempest's backdoor. A particularly cheeky nap reveals tomorrow's island chain through the smell of overripe bananas. Half awake, you realize the storm's eye stares directly at your stolen slumber. Typhoons resent uninvited guests, especially ones drooling on their best linen. Rain shifts from horizontal knives to grandmotherly pats, mocking your presumption that nature can be outnapped. 10 stolen minutes in, your kidneys stage a mutiny. The 1936 Honolulu Medical Journal attributes cyclone cramps to electrolyte imbalance. You attribute it to karma for napping like a bandit mid-apocalypse. A wave slaps your left ear, an aquatic bailiff evicting squatters from Dream Court. Salt water trickles into your eustachian tubes, playing oceanic ASMR tracks. Funny how near-death experiences double as spa treatments when you're sleep-deprived enough. Dawn leaks through storm cracks, exposing your crew's sleep faces, frozen in varying guilt. One man's snoring the chorus of Row Your Boat. Another's eyelids map Orion's belt through rapid twitches. Your own jaw hangs open enough to catch rebellious flying fish. Breakfast via atmospheric insomnia attacks. The squall retreats grumbling about ungrateful mortals and stolen percussion solos. Your stolen naps cling like barnacles to sanity's hull. 6 microsleeps equal 1 functional cerebrum. Ancient math, modern caffeine addicts rediscover daily. Petroglyphs later will show this moment. Stick figure sailors snatching Z's from a frowning cloud monster. Archaeologists will call it symbolic. You know it's documentary realism, final thought before authorized wakefulness. The 1947 Kon-Tiki expedition proved even modern rafts drift right when crews sleep wrong. Your ancestors grin through dream vapors, having weaponized that flaw into an art form. Horizons stabilize as proper sleep washes ashore, stolen rest now digested into alertness. Storm's leftovers rock the canoe like a forgiven lover, all annoyance dissolved into rhythmic nudges. The next squall approaches. You prep your hammock with thief's fingers. Waves slap the hull in triplets now, breath-stealing rhythm the color of storm-fatigued cobalt. You're learning what every star-drunk sailor knew, panting through nostrils, is for amateurs. Real navigators drink air through pores when hurricanes sing lullabies. 5 nostrils flare in unison, yours, plus the 4 volcanic vents bubbling beneath the hull. Historical records confirm Polynesian navigators timed breaths to wave intervals, 16 inhales per league during King Kamehameha's reign. Your lungs stretch into bellows, sucking salt spray, sopranos straight to your diaphragm. That gurgle, just Maui's demigod descendant, snoring 2 canoes over, half his snot bubbles, forming perfect spiral galaxies. Quirky fact, some crews stuffed seaweed up their noses to dampen snores. The 1897 Bishop Museum catalog shows kelp corks labeled snore anchors, unsanitary. Your third exhale harmonizes with a breaching humpback, its blowhole aria sinking to your carbon dioxide output. Biologists would call this coincidence. You call it tidal karaoke. Ribs expand like outriggers, each creak composing verses for the ocean's spotty memory. Moon-pulled swells reshape your sternum into an Aeolian harp, wind threading through sleep-softened cartilage. Ever notice how hurricanes hum in B-flat? 15th century Tongan sailors tuned their vomit buckets accordingly, turning seasickness into improv jazz sessions. Lips chap from mouth-breathing lunar gossip, salt crystallizing into drowsy hieroglyphs. One particularly inventive drool puddle spells, Napoleon, was wrong about Egypt. Historians still argue if Phoenicians napped better starboard or portside. Scrolls show both factions graffitiing ancient docks. Trickster waves fake crescendos, fainting like boxers before dissolving into apologetic ripples. Your diaphragm parries, each fake-out, internal metronome set to typhoon tempo. 19th century sleep scholars called this abdominal chess. You call it not suffocating today. Sudden lull, the ocean forgets its own lyrics. 4 seconds of silence sting worse than jilted lover's wrath. Then, a colossal inhalation from the deep. Water parts for a yawning trench, its sulfur breath fogging your corneas. Nostrils clamp shut too late, brimstone stink, now marinating your sinuses. Legend claims Peel's sister naps in magma chambers. Turns out she's a mouth breather with halitosis. Crewmates gag in 3-part harmony. A cursed barbershop quartet sponsored by volcanic flatulence. Left pinky toe cramps, your body's betrayal timed to high tide. 18th century massage techniques involved conch shells and fermented octopus ink. You settle for slapping the appendage with a wet flip-flop. Traditional medicine meets desperation's sticky fingerprints. Your next yawn ingests 7 gallons of humid twilight, lungs ballooning into makeshift sailcloth. Ever inflated like a pufferfish mid-nap. Urchins stare with envious spines. They've been trying that trick for eons. Starlight pierces the marine layer, sharpened by the moon's whetstone glow. Retinas map the Southern Cross through semi-opaque eyelids. Celestial connect the dots for the sleep-deprived. That flicker, either Alpha Centauri winking or a bioluminescent squid judging your life choices. Horizon hiccups, sudden elevation drop like Earth's stomach lurching. Inner ears flood with vertigo's cold tea. Archaeologists found Micronesian vomit flutes designed to mimic this sensation. Proof nausea inspires strange art. Dawn arrives as a soggy watermark, sky's parchment soaked through with apricot bruises. Last night's storm packed its tambourines, left only ripples gossiping in stolen acoustics. You exhale the final lullaby note, a hiss deflating days of compressed adrenaline. Shipwrecked dreams surface belatedly, a coral-encrusted pocket watch showing nap intervals. Its ticking sinks to Venus rising, the original alarm clock for star-addled minds. Lungs now half waterlogged, every breath sloshes like overfilled canteen. But hey, free nasal irrigation from Poseidon's neti pot. You'll either suffocate or achieve enlightenment. The Polynesian version of Russian roulette. 5 more waves until landfall, each crest whispering different lies about distance. The 4th wave smells like mangoes, Tropical false, advertising at its most fragrant, drool evaporates into salt-crusted ellipses, unfinished sentences for historians to misinterpret. Let them debate whether you napped or mediated peace treaties with squalls. You've got bluer horizons to yawn into. The fifth wave tastes like betrayal, its promised mango tang drowned in brine's wet cough. Your tongue retreats, sulking behind molars stained blue from chewing sleep-starved hours. Polynesian voyagers carried starfruit rations for this moment, sacred sourness, meant to stretch 40 winks into lunar cycles. Your teeth puncture waxy skin, juice erupts like battery acid cosplaying as citrus. Historical records show navigation chiefs hoarded fermented starfruit paste in coconut canteens, though nobody admits who taste-tested the prototypes. Your gag reflex does the math. The pulp glows faintly, bioluminescent fungi cultures added during new moons. Quirky tidbit crews believed mold patterns predicted storm paths better than stars. That fuzzy Rorschach blot, either Atlantis's coastline or indigestion's abstract art. You swallow 3 seeds by accident, their ridges scraping your esophagus like tiny nautical charts. By Kamehameha's era, 83 starfruit recipes existed for sleep manipulation, the sourest brew. Groggy squid ferment steeped in seawater for 13 tides. Your current batch smells like a gym socks fever dream, aged in bamboo, sealed with turtle wax. Panic flares when eyelids droop mid-chew, jaw slackening as the horizon blurs into watercolor smears. Time warps, each mast creak stretches into whale songs. 10 heartbeats span a coral reef's full growth cycle. Historians still argue whether these brews triggered hallucinations or heightened perception. Scrolls mention peeled reality and fish speaking as side effects. A crewmate's snore vibrates your pelvic bone, suddenly syncopated with the starfruit's drowsy drumbeat. You're now breathing in reverse, exhaling sunrise hues between ribcage heaves. 16th century sleep logs describe this as tides hiccup therapy, though skeptics claim sailors just huffed too much fish glue. Fingertips tingle, pulsed by phantom waves from the fruit's briny aftertaste. Blink once, the ocean's foam cursive writes your mother's name. Blink twice, it's just seagull diarrhea splattering the gunnel. Classic maritime pranksterism. Your third blink lasts 17 minutes eyelids, staging a union strike against consciousness. Someone force feeds you more pulp, the texture of soggy eclipse predictions. Passive aggression spices the brew, grudges from whoever peeled these under a waning moon. Every gulp layers ancient thirst with modern regret. Remember those fermented sea urchin smoothies from Section 6. This makes those taste like ambrosia. Voices distort, captain's orders mutate into whale nursery rhymes. Muscle memory steers your hand toward the Navigators' star chart. Palm sweat smudging Orion into a Rorschach test. Did pre-colonial Tahitians really nap through squalls using fruit-induced comas? The 1923 Honolulu Gazette ran a hoax story about crewmen hibernating like bears. Turns out they'd just raided the starfruit cache. Taste buds revolt, suing for unauthorized taste immersion therapy. Too late. Enzymes hijack your salivary glands, flooding your mouth with metallic aftertastes labeled moon dust in optimistic manifests. 18th century botanists tried replicating the recipe. Their journals end mid-sentence with frantic crayon doodles of screaming orchids. Half your face goes numb, portside cheek merging with the damp gunnel wood. A barnacle scribbles haikus into your pores. You try reciting Tongan navigation chants, but your uvula's playing hopscotch with the soft palate. 5 more minutes, and you'll either transcend spacetime or vomit a black hole. Dawn arrives as a drowsy burgundy smear. The sun yawns rose quartz across dew-lashed sails. Starfruit's final gift, an afterimage of last Tuesday flickering behind your sinuses. You never noticed how that particular cloud looked like your childhood dog. The brews effects wane, leaving your tongue dry and philosophical. Was that 7 minutes or 7 centuries? A bioluminescent belch hints at the answer, its glow spelling maybe. In Morse code, crewmates stir their snores, downgrading from tuba blasts to didgeridoo hums. One seed remains lodged in your molar like a fossilized paradox. Spit or swallow? Choose wisely. The 1774 Voyages almanac warns. Beware the 7th pip portal to oversleeping through your own funeral. You pocket it as a souvenir future use problem. Retinas reset, sharpening the world into shapes that obey physics. Mostly, that albatross still has your dead grandfather's posture, but you're professional enough to ignore it. Starfruit naps, less restful than advertised, yet strangely effective for forgetting which century it is. Lungs recalibrate, drawing air that hasn't been pre-chewed by seaweed. A gull's shadow traces your heartbeat, avian metronome clicking through convalescence's fog. You'll regain object permanence any minute now. Probably. The horizon yawns, stretching into a new meridian ripe for misadventures. Your jaw cracks in sympathy, a rusty hinge baptized in salt and poor decisions. Tonight's rations better involve less mold or consciousness-altering fungi, preferably neither. But who are we kidding? Drool crystallizes on the starfruit's corpse, its etched sugars capturing yesterday's storm in ambered syrup. Lick it for science. The taste, regret with top notes of hubris, and a lingering kick of navigational ergotism. Your retinas rebel first, burning eclipse afterimage seared across fleeing rods and cones. Navigators called this the sky's eyelid flutter, a sacred blink rewriting optic nerves. You're supposed to embrace the blindness, but panic flushes your veins when shadows bleed indigo. Star charts disintegrate, ink dissolving into nightsea ripples, lapping at your cornea's edge. Remember those drunk starfruit burps from yesterday. Their bioluminescence seems quaint now, like fireflies mocking a supernova. Your captain barks orders through a conch shell lined with stingray spines. Close both eyes, or go mad counting the sun's missing teeth. You comply, lids scrunched so tight, time knots itself into sailor's braids. Darkness isn't empty here. It's overripe mango flesh pressing against your brow. 18th century logs describe Tahitian helmsmen snoring through total eclipses, waking with star-pierced sight. Your left nostril catches smoke, the Navigators' incense burner wafting, Kava root and regret. Historians still argue whether those comas lasted minutes or months. Ship logs show gaps in chronology. A crewmate's elbow jabs your ribs, silent signal to start humming the darkness awake. Vocal cords vibrate Hocula's lament, the forbidden lullaby meant to sync pulses with the vanished sun. Bad idea. The melody unspools your joints, knees liquefying into moon jelly tentacles. Your hips remember this, ancestral DNA twitching with olden tides. Quirky bit. Some used eyelid tattoos as solar filters. Yours lack such finery, so you improvise with palm sap and gull down. The result? Itchy avant-garde blindness chic. Someone's grandmother chuckles, her wheeze sinks with the rigging's creak. You've become an echo chamber for the ocean's withheld breath. Tempers fray as totality drags on a crewmate, swears the moon's stealing his shin hair. Classic eclipse psychosis. Your toenails thrum, resonating with star paths etched during 9 generations of intentional naps. European explorers scratched their heads at crews who napped through totality, never grasping it was timed recovery. The ship lurches, hull grinding against a coral reef that wasn't there moments ago. Or was it? Without sight, barnacles sound like gossiping ants dissecting your sleep habits. Saliva pools under your tongue, metallic premonition of solar rebirth. You're a human pinhole camera, processing photons through skin pores. A child's voice slices the gloom, reciting storm warnings from the 1327 Betelgeuse meridian. Nobody aboard is under 60. The words twist into a sneeze yours that smells like burnt marzipan. 10 kegs of fermented coconut milk rupture below decks, their tangy explosion baptizing the crew in probiotic shame. Light returns as a hesitant intruder, pink talons clawing through your makeshift eyelid blinds. Retinas scream, vision reboot glitches, swapping the mast for your 3rd grade teacher's disapproving nose. Multiple chronologies collide. Yesterday's tide schedules overlap with next week's mutiny drafts. The captain's beard has grown 6 inches, frosted with salt and existential doubt. Or was it always that long? Eclipse time does weird things to follicular perceptions. Your kneecaps buzz their newfound ability to sense Jupiter's moons, equal parts cool and concerning. Someone hands you a post-eclipse tonic, fermented sea cucumber, and regret its bubbles spelling repent in Morse code. You chug it. Ribs expand, suddenly capable of storing star maps between breaths. A crewmate's earlobe displays tomorrows, whether rain clouds brewing in his varicose veins. Debate rages. Did you sleep 10 minutes or 10 decades? The ship's cat, now sporting a suspiciously human smirk, knows, but won't tell. Your big toe writes an angry treatise on circadian betrayals in the sweat-damp sandals. By sundown, vision stabilizes mostly. The North Star winks Morse code jokes about your earlier panic. You laugh, a wet sound like clams giggling at low tide. Star-charted nap schedules resume, punctuated by the occasional retinal aftershock. The Navigator whispers the forbidden truth. Solar blindness shows what daylight hides. His left iris now holds a perfect eclipse miniature, available for divination appointments every Tuesday. You decline politely. 3 nightmares per voyage is your limit. Tonight's dream log will note: temporary blindness endured. Galactic Wi-Fi signal boosted by 37%. Still can't unsee Grandma's canoe-sized dentures. Progress by Polynesian starnapper standards. Lungs finally exhale a breath held since totality, its warmth sketching Orion's belt on the night breeze. The final pulse of eclipse magic. Your shadow now trails 3 minutes behind, lazy appendage chasing sleep's coattails into dawn's forgiving glare. Rain hammers the deck like a million topicloth demons stomping hemp shoes. Your eardrums flutter, trying to Morse code translate each droplet's intent. Snoring saves civilizations tonight. That's not hyperbole. Your captain's nasal passages now channel category 5 wisdom. His left nostril sings cyclone trajectories, right sinus diagrams, pressure systems. You kneel beside his hammock, ear pressed to septal cartilage, decoding the storm's true eye through adenoid vibrations. Every culture navigates gales differently. Vikings used sunstones, Polynesians, sinus cavities. 18th century Tongan logs detail nose-borne pathfinding. Sailors trained to snore in hurricane keys. Your uvula tenses, unsure whether to laugh or chant. The rhythm hits first, a basso profundo rumble shaking your molars. It's Beethoven's Fifth, if composed by tuba-playing whales. Crewmates sway hypnotized, hips sinking to snotty percussion. Rigging ropes knot themselves into treble clefs. Quirky bit, some navigators snorted ground pearl shell to enhance resonance. Your captain prefers fermented breadfruit paste. The result: a nasal cadence that maps safe passage through 7 atmospheric layers. Also, chronic hiccups, memories surface of grade school band class, how you failed trumpet but aced the slide whistle. Useless then, vital now. The tempest's eye approaches, its silence more terrifying than roar. You mimic the captain's phlegmatic vibrato, lips buzzing like deranged didgeridoo. Spray stings your cheeks, saltwater braille describing wave heights. Tonga's hamonga, a Maui trilithon, aligns with solstices. But tonight's monument is a slumbering elder's deviated septum. Historians still argue whether ancient snorenav was sonic mastery or sleep apnea elevated to art. A sneeze detonates 3 feet left, its shockwave revealing a submerged atoll. Bless you, bless the atoll. The ship pivots starboard, keel grazing coral that vaporizes into mist. Someone's false teeth clatter a jaunty jig, prosthetic percussion, underscoring the nasal symphony. Dawn looms, its light pollution threatening to mute the snore symphony. Panic surges. Without darkness's acoustic clarity, you'll drift into the doldrums of literal interpretation, where waves forget their allegorical meaning. The captain belts a nasopharyngeal high C, a note that parts storm clouds like theater curtains. His mustache hairs act as organic anemometers, each follicle quivering with wind intelligence. You envy their purpose. Your own facial hair just collects biscuit crumbs. The barometer plummets, then soars, as his sinuses alternate between hurricane and zephyr. 3 crewmates harmonize through yawns, creating a Doppler effect that stabilizes the mainsail. It's beautiful. It's ridiculous. Your gallbladder hums along, uninvited but enthusiastic. Rigging knots untie themselves, rebraiding into nautical sheet music. The storm's eye yawns wide, a liquid donut hole, brimming with deceptive calm. Standard protocol, says Roe like mad. Starnappers know better. You mimic the captain's congested rattle. The snores intensify, vibrations fusing with the ship's timbers. Wood grain becomes tenor clefs. Hull planks thrum like cello strings. Suddenly, you're not riding the storm, you're the storm's tempo kepper. European accounts dismissed Polynesian storm naps as primitive fatalism. Jokes on them, your crew's adenoids just outmaneuvered Beaufort-scale dogma. A rogue wave looms its crest, foaming with ill intent. The captain's septum whistles a countermelody. The wall of water hesitates, curls into itself, dissipates as jazz hands. Applause erupts from the barnacles. Or maybe that's just hail. Daybreak arrives sheepishly, storm reduced to a petulant drizzle. The captain awakens with a snort that could have toppled Carthage. Well, he grunts, eyeing the unscathed ship. You're tempted to credit his nasal prowess. Instead, you toss him a handkerchief. Priorities. Maps unfurl, revealing you've sailed 17 hours west while technically asleep. Cartographers would weep. Your big toe, still smarting from yesterday's eclipse, taps residual rhythms into the soggy deck. The ocean shrugs its surface, smoothing into a cheeky grin. Lunch is served, kelp-wrapped eel and apology coconuts. As the captain's snores shift to postprandial drones, you spot land. Or is it a cloud bank mimicking atolls? Only your sinuses know for certain. You sniff, testing the air, and taste tomorrow's perfectly timed yawn. Bare toes squelch in tide pools, warm brine kissing, newly acquired rope burns. Sandalwood smoke curls from shoreward fires, ancestors RSVPing to tonight's dream collaboration. You count crewmates' limbs under the mango moon, everyone present but Horapido, who's arguing with a hermit crab over navigational rights to its shell. Classic. The ritual demands starfish poses, 5 pointed bodies mirroring Hocula constellations sprawl, left pinky touching Nainoa's right elbow, right heel brushing Mona's left eyebrow. Authenticity matters. 8th century Tongan petroglyphs depict this exact limb tangle for shared mind voyages. Your spleen objects to the geometry. Hawaiian star compasses guided daytime sails. But after sunset, flesh became the instrument. Cook's crew described it as savages sleeping in queer pentagrams, missing how elbow-knee contact transmitted reef maps through shared capillaries. Your left calf cramps, ethics, suggest apologizing to the muscle later. Inhale Orion's belt, exhale Southern Cross. Chants the Yon shaman, her voice muffled by 3 apprentices braiding her armpit hair into dream anchors. Suppressed giggles ripple through the human asterism. Someone's big toe farts a B-flat. The crab applauds. Drums start, pulse syncing with Jupiter's orbital hiccups. Your eyelids flutter semaphore codes. 8 rhythms merge into one. Genghis Khan reportedly outlawed group naps, fearing hive mind rebellions. But your dissolving ego couldn't stage a coup against a tadpole right now. Reality warps gently like tarot dough over hot stones. Mona's memories bleed into yours, her childhood fear of eel dentists becoming your sudden dental anxiety. Nainoa's expertise with shark-repelling chants now resides in your larynx. Historians still debate whether shared dream navigation caused temporary personality swaps or just excellent improv comedy. The vision blooms, a phosphorescent sea chart projected onto everyone's retinas. Each atoll pulses with collective memory. That blurry patch, great-grandpa's fishhook mishap, the swirling eddy, Auntie's legendary canoe-flipping sneeze of 23 AD. Your prefrontal cortex throws popcorn at the screening, unaccustomed to nonlinear cinema. A rogue nightmare bubble surfaces, whale song warped into funeral dirges. The starfish chain convulses. Squeeze thighs, barks the shaman. 20 knees clamp in unison. The bad dream pops, revealing a perfect shortcut through the doldrums. Turns out terrors just origami folded correctly, and you get a decorative sail patch. Dawn threatens again, but the merged dream body resists. 5 sets of lungs slow collective breathing until sunrise pauses shyly behind the horizon. Take that, Apollo. Your shared tongue tastes tomorrow's seaweed forecast, hinting at mackerel swarms and amnesiac squids. Someone's stomach growls an Okinawan fishing song. Or was that the actual sea? The unknotting hurts worse than group projects. Tendons creak. Hips realign. Horapido returns mid-flex, claiming the crab signed an alliance treaty using clitoris shell fragments. The shaman nods sagely, translation pending. Your big toe remains, convinced it's now Mona's toe. Identity theft, lawsuits loom. Fermented coconut oil gets massaged into pressure points that correspond with Pleiades' sister stars. 11 of them, 12, if you count Auntie's special cousin. Your liver starts humming a Gilbert and Sullivan tune Side effect of transdermal star knowledge. The horizon ripples, daring you to differentiate cloud from atoll, using only punitive jazz hands. Post-ritual feast features hallucination-themed desserts. You bite a mango that tastes like grandpa's fishhook trauma, surprisingly zesty. The crab negotiates for crumbs, offering intel on neighboring atolls' secret nap coves. Maps update themselves in real time, kelp ink squirming like nestling eels. Sleep calls again, but now it's a group text chain. Your hammock sways to the shaman's armpit harp arpeggios. Earliest known starfish nap records come from Fijian bark cloths, depicting chiefs snoring in formation. Scholars remain divided. Is this sacred art or ancient comic strips about stupid sleeping positions? You drift, tethered to 14 other snores. Dreams arrive as collaborative Google Docs, editable by all. Someone inserts a cartoon walrus piloting a outrigger. Another adds subtitles in old Tongan slang. The walrus winks, tossing you a virtual compass that smells like grandma's hair oil. Mid-REM cycle. You comprehend it, the true meaning of crew. Not shared labor, not kinship. This, neurons handshake dancing across saltwater synapses, minds braided tighter than stormproof rigging. The revelation lasts precisely 3 brainwaves before dissolving into a craving for pickled sea cucumber. Venus rises, conch horns blare. Reality reboots. Muscle memories cling like barnacles. Your left elbow knows 14 new constellations. Right knee, cap, hums a Marshallese wave chant. The shaman winks her armpit harp, now a functional ukulele. Maps glisten wetly, documenting paths visible only to communal dream veterans. Breakfast is silent. Words would dilute the leftover mind bonds. You nibble taro cake, tasting 7 generations worth of reef-passing tricks. The crab sidles up, offering its shell as signed affidavit. You decline politely. Some alliances demand more legroom. Horizon shimmers, teasing with 19 new islands that weren't there yesterday. Or maybe they were. Your starfish sore limbs ache, but hum with borrowed wisdom. Nainoa belches a perfect C-sharp key signature for today's voyage. Everyone nods. Sheet music materializes in the rigging, per-written by last night's shared cerebellum. The captain watches grumpy from missing the ritual. Any actual navigation done, he growls. You smile, savoring secrets. Let him think it's witchcraft. Truth's too simple. You borrowed 5 brains and outslept a compass. His snort could power a mid-sized outrigger. Priorities. Waves whisper gossip about your dream-merged aptitude. You toss them a rogue popcorn kernel from last night's mental movie. The ocean swallows it, temporarily speechless. Lunch smells suspiciously like collaborative triumph. Ratatouille, if the rat was a starfish and the chef an inherited memory. Napping shifts from necessity to art form. Your eyelids sketch star paths between blinks. A single yawn realigns the mainsail. The crab salutes, finally grasping nautical semaphore. Somewhere 800 years back, a petroglyph artist, chuckles wetly into his volcanic paint. Echoes carry. Waves blur yesterday-tomorrow lines. Saltwater HDTV broadcasting 7 generations weather reports. Your hammock sways through koa wood groves, planted centuries back by namesake ancestors. A great-great-grandma pinches your earlobe, her calloused fingers passing navigation. Critiques through time's cling wrap. Stop oversteering during squalls. She grumbles, voice crackling like 14th century coconut radio. Historians still argue whether Polynesians truly believed in dreamtime time travel, or just understood metaphor better than Oxford dons. Your pinky toe votes for literal time warping. It's currently tingling in 1823. Maupi Lugs, 1976. Hawaii-Tahiti voyage proved star navigation's power, but his crew's dream journals sealed until 2076. You smell what's inside, monkapod smoke and anxiety sweat. 73% of entries mention aunties judging from the afterlife. Reef spirits offer spam musubai. You decline. Last dream meal gave you visions of Tudor England's chamber pots. A three-eyed remora suggests pivot star mnemonics. Its breath smells suspiciously of your junior prom date's cologne, hands crusted with coral grit trace tomorrow's storms on sun-warmed hull planks. The wood remembers being a tree sapling during Cook's arrival. Grain patterns morph, showing tsunami evacuations, roots used in 1602. Your cuticles itch with borrowed hindsight. Napping upright against the mast brings technicolor visions and chiropractic regrets. Captain Bligg's logbook described this as savage sloth, missing how vertical sleep angles let dreams drain into the keel. Your vertebrae stage a mutiny. 18 protesting clicks, that new atoll ahead. Your uterus recognized it first, cellular memory of ancestral childbirths there. Oddly specific deja vu down to the exact tiger shark midwife. Cousin Mona claims this happened last Tuesday. Times spiral notebook. Seagulls deliver spam messages from 2045 climate activists, encoded in droppings. You decipher, plant more breadfruit before waves lick it off. The ocean winks its surface tension, holding centuries of IOUs. A dream shark offers stock tips. Decline. Its 1929 market crash trauma still stains its aura. Better to barter yesterday's fish bones for tomorrow's calm winds. The deal requires spitting in 4 directions. Economists would weep. Modern labs now study retrocognition, seeing past events through muscle memory. Your pancreas doubles as an oracle divining 11th century tsunami patterns through glucose spikes. Breakfast becomes a divining ritual. Pass the poi. Your left iris replays Grandma's 1958 canoe launch. Right iris previews 2134's GMO taro harvest. Blinking feels dangerous. Did John Lennon steal Imagine from a Rarotongan dream surfer? The pineapple at breakfast winks. Dolphins bring news from yesterday's tomorrow your future self says to avoid the blue lobster. Too late. It's already in the stew, tasting of déjà vu and regret. 6 crewmates hiccup in unison. Warrior ghosts critique your knot tying. Their insults rhyme with 16th century fishing chants. Apologize using borrowed phrases from last night's TED Talk. The oldest spirit fist bumps you incorrectly. Now your knuckles smell like volcanic ash. Horapito swears he's been here before. Same exact termite in the mast. You check, termites form the Fibonacci sequence. 3 skinks agree. Dream logic sticks like barnacles. Dawn leaks through time's seams. A golden thread connecting Rangaroa atolls across 8 centuries. Historians debate Maui's fishhook as metaphor. Your blistered palms know the truth, that hooks still embedded in Tuesday's sunrise. Peel yesterday from your eyelids, salt-crusted lashes, holding 70 generations worth of good mornings. Breakfast smells like genealogy. That's either fermented octopus or Grey Tunkle's pipe tobacco. The distinction matters less with each yawn. Your shadow stretches backward, a wobbly bridge to napping ancestors. They're snoring the same syncopated rhythm as your spleen. Time isn't linear, just underexplained. The horizon agrees, blurring into something even maps can't bully into shape. The horizon's blur softens as Venus shoulders her way through dawn's curtains, a celestial usher with a conch shell baton. You squint at the first silver prick of her light, traveling 72 years. She's your alarm clock now, celestial snooze be damned. 8 navigators lick polished pearl shell fragments, tongues calibrated to taste Venus, a scent through mineral tang. Their left elbows point starboard in practiced unison. Nobody admits it's just arthritis acting up. That conch in your hands still smells like its original owner's breakfast. 1794. Fermented sea cucumber breath, fossilized in spiral grooves. You heave air through its pearly throat. The blast arrives 13 seconds late on purpose, because even gods deserve a lion. 17th century Hawaiian navigators timed these blasts via star reflections in kukui nut oil. Modern horologists recreated it using Rolexes taped to outriggers. Neither group's clocks survived the humidity. Your belly button lint proves more accurate. Don't ask. The delayed blast triggers a yawn contagion across 12 nautical miles. Palm fronds rattle approval as 3 crewmates sneeze in D-flat. Dawn negotiates terms. Another 7 minutes if you'll name your next child after Mercury. Deal. Ancestors called this catching the sun's yawn, sliding awake between heartbeats to outsmart circadian grogginess. Your spleen disagrees, pumping out sleep hormones like a bartender during prohibition. You counter with a sips of mangrove root espresso. That conch's spiral circles your thumbprint in reverse, a biometric handshake with the shell's previous blower. His callus pattern matches your cousin's rugby injury scar. Family traits stick like barnacles. Venus winks behind a cloud, the original 5 more minutes ploy. You retaliate by humming the conch's signature pitch into your armpit. Resonance physics does the rest. 73 birds evacuate a nearby atoll. Archaeologists found 13 smashed conches at Tuamotu temple sites, likely failed attempts to wake the sea itself. Today's model includes ergonomic grip zones and Bluetooth compatibility. Kidding about one of those, your eyelids negotiate a phased reopening, right lid at Venus rise, left at full dawn. The compromise avoids migraine mutiny. Retinas adjust to steal star coordinates from lingering dream fog. That's not cheating, it's multitasking. A frigate bird drops its catch, a 1920s pocket watch straight into your poi. The hands spin backward like a dowsing rod with commitment issues. Breakfast tastes like horological soup. Historians still debate whether conch delays honored planetary shyness or just covered for hungover navigators. Your theory? Both, with 50% assigning blame to especially poetic hangovers. The conch burps agreement. 3 weeks, those polka-dotted hermit crabs, click-click reminders that low tide waits for no snooze button. Their shells house retired conch mouthpieces, ancestor AIRBUDSDM. You're not making this up much. Your big toe detects the exact moment cosmic tides flip from rest to row. Toenail polish cracks under the strain coral pink, becoming a mood ring for gravitational shifts. Pedicures are temporary, star paths eternal. The final blast shakes a coconut loose, its splash harmonizing with Venus. Retreat. Milk pools into a star map even Google Earth can't copyright. You trace tomorrow's course with a toast, spilled caffeine, uniting 17 time zones. Dawn solidifies its contract, horizon sharpening into something you can't argue with. The conch warms in your palm like a spent bullet casing. 16 generations of sleep dust sprinkle from its bell, each particle singing the same 3-note wake-up chord. Your liver announces shift change with a jazz hand's tremor. It's been microdosing moonlight since Tuesday Organ as astronomical almanac. You inhale, tasting 8 breakfasts from parallel timelines. Pass the non-temporal salt, please. Venus dips below consciousness's checklist, her job outsourced to the rising sun. The conch's echo lingers in your fillings, playing elevator music until tomorrow's snooze negotiation. Your left pupil winks at Mercury, already scheming for extra minutes next dawn. Your yawn cracks the horizon wider, a seismic stretch, reconfiguring the Pacific's wrinkled face into fresh grids. Each jaw-pop aligns with an emerging star, Betelgeuse click-clicking your mandible like nautical bubble wrap. You've chewed through dawn's red tape. The canoe groans awake, its mangrove-ribbed hull creaking like a grandfather clock resuming duty. No need for oars yet. 5 yawns per nautical mile will do the steering. Your big toe drifts starboard, a rudder calloused by 2 decades of gravitational nudges. 19th century Voyagers used tidal yawn timing to spot distant reefs. The gaping mouths, echo bouncing off submerged coral. Modern sleep labs replicated it using electrodes and dental molds. Neither could match Grandma's dental plates for resonance. Your sternum vibrates with 3 rogue waves, yet to form sleep-loosened cartilage, transmitting tomorrow's swells. 7 crewmates hum along their uvulas, conducting an adenoidal orchestra. Sheet music gets soggy halfway through bar 12. That pinky toe callus, actually a shriveled sweet potato from 92 tribal archives, confirm its role as emergency snack and compass. Don't lick it. Trust me, you smear dream saliva on the gunnel, improvised polish revealing star paths in dried droplets. Cassiopeia winks through phlegm constellations. 10 more coughs could chart the Milky Way's underbelly. Pulmonology meets cartography. You're basically a GPS with allergies. 6 paddles rise, dripping constellations onto your knee. Venus, final sparkle clings to the wood grain like glitter after kindergarten art class. Good enough for government work or God work. Flip a coin. Historians still argue whether Polynesians napped facing east to catch sunrise in their sinuses, or just enjoyed not smelling each other's feet. Both theories explain the nasal flutes. The canoe's twin hulls slice through gelatinous dawn, half sea, half liquid starlight. You're bisecting an uncooked galaxy omelet. Sizzle not included. 11 palms salute from shore. Frond fingers waving through volcanic smog. Napoli Bay solidifies behind you, a postcard retreating into Microsoft Windows wallpaper. Your spleen composes a haiku for every receding coconut tree. Your left elbow remembers a 1610 Tongan law mandating breakfast naps for helmsmen. The penalty: spooning with a snoring boar. Tourism boards omit this detail. The caffeine shakes arrive, kicking your ribcage like a tap-dancing iguana. 3 sips of fermented starfruit smoothie settle the matter. Breakfast terroir, notes of desperation and hindsight. 16 petrels start circling, avian Uber drivers awaiting your scraps. Toss a morsel, and they'll spell out tomorrows, whether in midair glyphs or just poop on the mast. Mixed signals. A rogue Mina bird lands its claws, gripping a 1943 Zippo engraved property of USS Indianapolis. It sparks against your thigh, igniting a sunbeam. Fire hazard or divine endorsement. Pork no low stews. The crew's synchronized blinking becomes semaphore, lids spelling out lunch demands in Morse code. 2 winks equal more taro. A twitch means stop rubbing kelp on the paddle. Union regulations. Your molars grind a caffeine tablet with Napoleonic fervor, peppermint residue, minting fresh breath for diplomatic encounters or hostile ones. Colonizers hate fresh breath. It's a whole thing. That tattooed whale on your shoulder starts migrating south, indigo ink retreating toward your scapula like a bashful constellation. Telltale sign of southern currents. Also an excellent backstory for gym selfies. The horizon yawns again, an unbuttoned tropical shirt, revealing blue upon blue upon blue. Each shade corresponds to a nap depth your logbook categorizes as snooze-saturated azimuths. Fancy way to say well-rested wanderlust. You aim for cerulean. Mercury chuckles somewhere beyond the thermocline, his promised dawn minutes collecting interest. Compound awakenings await. But for now, lungs filled with salt and stardust, spine tuned to wave song, you paddle into gradients even maps can't encode. Your breath slows, each exhale ironing the horizon's creases smooth. Stars dim to smudged thumbprints in indigo wax, your eyelids their final parchment. The canoe's embrace softens, mangrove ribs cradling you like driftwood worn tender by centuries of tides. No need to count waves now. Let salted air unknot your spine, each ripple whispering tales older than compasses. That calloused toe, let it rest, its sweet potato wisdom dissolving into myth beneath the keel. Cassiopeias, cough syrup, constellation pails, dried dream saliva melting into dew. Your lungs hum ancestral lullabies, no Morse code, no semaphore, just the hush between tide pools. Petrels tuck wings, dark shapes becoming shadow staples binding sea to sky. Grandma's dentures clink in memory, a porcelain lullaby, out-singing lab-bred algorithms. The rogues' waves, they'll arrive as knee-high ripples, Mercury's chuckle. Now, a nursery rhyme, hummed through coral lips. Napoli Bay's palms sway slower, green hands waving through mist rather than volcanic breath. Your spleen's haiku stumbles, syllables scattering like starfruit seeds in current. Let them drift. The tattooed whale settles, indigo flukes stilling against your shoulder blade. No need to chart its path south or north. All currents cradle you now. Horizons multiply layers of blue, undoing their buttons one by one. Cerulean bleeds into twilight, into nothing. The map dissolving where your paddle dares not dip. Sleep claims the Zippo's spark, its flicker drowning in phosphorescence. Your teeth unclench. No peppermint truces required here. The iguana quiets, its tap shoes swapped for velvet. You become liquid, half starlight, half brine, a blur of surrender. The canoe knows the way. Let your bones echo its hollow song, the last coconut tree already dreaming you ashore. Dawn waits, patient creditor, as coral polyps stitch shut the sky's seams. No more azimuths or glyphs, just breath, just salt, just the slow suck of waves rewriting tomorrow's edge into silence.